Hello, everyone. Happy the week that doesn't count. The week between Christmas and New Year's. I never know what to do with this week. It just doesn't count. You're thinking about the year behind you. You're thinking about the year ahead of you. You're not quite sure what to do. So I thought I'd just jump on live and talk about some of the goals that I had for last year and see if I can also test out my command center. So I'm Cyberchick Boston. You're in my command center. It's cash day because I'm not working. I have the week off. And one of my laptops went down like a month ago, and I got that back. It was a disaster. Don't buy anything from Best Buy. This is not an endorsement, obviously. It literally died 1 week in 1 year to the date of getting it. And it was a high-end laptop. It cost, it was a lot of money. And I brought it back to Best Buy and they wouldn't help me. There's nothing I could do. I didn't get the warranty plan, but I would expect a laptop to last longer than a year. So crisis averted. I went to Costco actually, because my brother-in-law told me Costco gives you a 2-year warranty, which is phenomenal. So I did get my laptop set up, but the microphone I got, and actually I should do a mic check, but the microphone I ordered because I wanted to upgrade, I wasn't happy with the sound quality. It was a little tinny. So I got a new microphone, but it was a USB-C port, and I know better. It wasn't supposed to be directly plugged into my hub. It's supposed to be plugged into an auxiliary port, like in an entire, amp system, which I don't have. So I had to send that. It's just been, and then I plugged everything in. Hey, Boston Booty, you should come on with me. I plugged everything in this morning and one of my monitors died. So I had to go swap out the HDMI cable. It was just the HDMI cable, which is crazy. That's only 3 months old. So anyways, everything seems to be working, which makes me really happy. I do like the challenge I like a technology challenge, not when I'm live, but I do like a technology challenge. I'm prone to being inquisitive and trying to figure it out. So anyways, the command center seems to be working. And I just wanted to hop on here and talk about a few things. There was a podcast that I recorded, my first ever official podcast, December 3rd. It's called A Little Bit Culty. And Sarah Edmondson and, hi, Amy. Sarah Edmondson and her husband, Nip, have a podcast called A Little Bit Culty. They were part of the Nexium group, the Cults, and they were in The Vow. HBO had a documentary on them called The Vow. And that was the exact same time that Brianna had joined a cult. So we watched it and I reached out to Sarah. Anyways, long story short, we've been in touch throughout the years. She's been really helpful to me and to the family. And she had me come on as a guest. And they released it last week. So I'm very excited to play clips of that. Although I'm not really excited. I have to tell you, when you listen to yourself, it is, Amy, that's what my sister said. Come on, I love this. I love my microphone. Do not give me shit about my microphone. My sister said that she was envious. She had mic envy because I know the positioning probably isn't great, but I like it, so I'm leaving it. But I do have, thank you for telling me it sounds great, Lise, but I have another one coming from Best Buy that hopefully is even better. So that's so funny. Amy, you're hysterical. Okay, so we were talking about, so I'm going to play bits and pieces of that. It's really hard when you listen to it because you are, okay, Amy, you're going to love my sister. So we're doing a show tomorrow night. We've done one episode. It's called Salty Sisters. And there's 4 of us, and it was hysterical. Two of us don't want anything to do with this channel and being on the episode, but we're forcing them to. And it's actually quite funny. So join us tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Is that right, sisters? Are you guys still up for it? When we do a Salty Sister episode. One of the things I realized when I listened to myself on the podcast that we'll listen to a little bit of in a few minutes is I have to slow down. I talk really fast. Oh gosh, you watched it. That's right, you watched it. Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it tomorrow night. I'm gonna try to talk slower. I don't know if it's because I'm in the Northeast. I think this is my natural rhythm is to talk really fast. But when I'm listening to it, it just sounds like a big run-on sentence. So yeah, there's that. So I'm gonna do better with that for 2026. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about resolutions. And by talking about resolutions, I mean let's not do that because I don't want to talk about resolutions, but goals. I set goals, and in 2025, a goal of mine was to create a YouTube channel. And it took me 10 months to actually go live. And I don't know why it's so hard for me. Even today, I'm like, I really should do a live. In my mind, I think of all this content that I want to share with everyone. But then I've seen like a nasty side of YouTube. So let me talk you through it. Hear me out. Last year, I said I want to set up a YouTube channel. My goal was to set it up to hold on. This is grabbing my hair. My goal was to set it up. When I left the shades up, I usually put them down. That means my coloring is probably horrible. Oh, Amy, you are one of our sisters. You really are. So I wanted to expose the cults, and I was waiting. But thinking back on it, that probably was an excuse. Because why couldn't I have started the YouTube channel, built up a following, and then said, hey, guys, now I'm ready to tell you what my family's been through. We wanted Brianna to be on solid footing. We wanted her out of the cult. So we didn't want to talk about the cult publicly. But realistically, I have a lot to talk about. I could have talked about technology, about women in cybersecurity, about motherhood. Like there's so many topics that we sit around in our family and we say, hey, we should talk about this on a podcast. I'm sure everyone does that. Hi. Okay. Side Eyes Jess. Okay. Side-Eye Jess and Amy. I'm making you guys mods because I don't, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Sorry. I just started my YouTube show. I don't know how to do this, but someone said, I don't know if you guys want to be mods, but I don't have mods. I don't need mods. I don't have enough of a showing, but just because it'll be fun. So you guys are both going to be mods because that's what we're going to talk about today, about being mods. Oh my gosh, how funny is this? Okay, I think I just did it. And if you don't want to be a mod, you could just, I don't know what you could do. Just tell me, hey, I don't want to be a mod. But I added you guys as friends just because I wanted to thank you for coming in all the time. And I also want to see how to do it. And you have to do it from YouTube. And I'm on StreamYard. And you guys are great because you're letting me learn while I'm here. So my platform is my platform is to is my professional platform is LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn, I have, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 connections. I have Facebook, I have Instagram. I never used Twitter. I joined Twitter, I don't know, 2014 or 2016, but never ever got on it, never used it. Then when it became X, I was like, ew, I don't want to use it. But then it seemed when I started watching YouTube, I learned about the Karen Reed case and I learned about it from Turtle Boy. And then I watched Melanie Little and I couldn't get all the recaps. I can't watch, the 8-hour court cases because I work. So then I started to follow Lawyer, and it was really funny. I started to say, I want to do this. I want to have a channel. So that was a goal for 2025. But then X got really, so I started to try to post on X, but it's just, it's just, I don't know. I'll be there. Your color is perfect. Thank you, Lisa. Yes. So we're going to talk about being authentic. That's our story to share. Yes. Yes, Amy. All of us have a story. It's when people aren't authentic, they get into trouble. So I went on X thinking, okay, if I want to build out the cult platform, because really that was my goal. The sideshows are just fun to do, but I really want to bring down Jeff and Shalia. But then I started thinking, like, I like doing this. I had 3 weeks off at the end of the year, and having this because my kids are out of the house just kind of gives me something that I look forward to and that I can continue to grow. And at first I thought, I don't even care. I don't think I've ever once told people to sub and to like my videos. it's not in my DNA, whatever. If you don't like it, don't watch it. When I watch someone, I always like or sub because I appreciate that they're putting content out, but I leave it up to everyone's choice. And then it really started to matter. I started to get close to 500 subs, and I'm like, oh, I do care about this. Isn't that funny? I didn't think. I'm like, oh, it's just a side gig. I'm certainly not doing it for the money. I'm not monetized. I have a job. That wasn't the goal. So I thought that was really funny that, in all honesty, I cared. And then Amy, I have Amy on the brain, Jess Machado and Rat House Media and Broken Baker are so good to me. They give me a shout out every time I'm in their chat. And every time they give me a shout out, I get 10 to 20 additional subs. And I love that for me. And Danny from Rat House Media, go sub to them. If you haven't, to Jess, Broken Baker, and Rat House Media. I know you probably all have sub to them, but especially the replay crew, definitely sub to them. Hey Moons, over my hammy, thank you for joining. I always say over my hammy, it's over her hammy, sorry. Good to see you, thank you for joining. I'm just talking about my YouTube journey. And one thing that was really funny that I noticed is, besides just caring about what I was doing, I kept thinking, what else can I do on YouTube? So that's what, long story short, I did my goal. I went live. My first live was October. I'm now over 500. Let's take a look. I think it's 500. Looks like I got 578 subs. That's pretty good for 3 months. And I said I was going to go to LinkedIn when I hit 500. So that'll be my next big push, to go out to my work people and tell my cult story and tell any other story that I have to tell. So I'm excited to do that in the new year. That's one of my goals. Another goal is to just continue to pop on here and to not overthink it. I tend to overthink it. Like, who else is doing a live, or what draw do I have? Why will people come and listen to me? I wasn't bothered about the public speaking, and I'm not worried about the camera. I do this for a living. It's more, what was it that was keeping me from going live? What was my fear? Just doing that first one. And my first one is really kind of cute and funny, because my first one, I didn't know that during the intro, my mic was not muted. And I was like, going live. I was doing all the things you do before public speaking. And it's so cringy, but it's really cute too. I was like deep breathing, and you can hear it all. So, but I didn't have a lot of live views then. But I do end up having, I think my last video had like over 500 views, which I'm very happy with. So thank you to everyone out there for that. I am a mod myself for Jess Machado, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Jess. She seems to get a lot of hate, and I met Jess through Turtle Boy. I'm not friends with Jess. I mod for her. It's a business transaction. I like her a lot. I didn't like her when we started, and I hate to even say that, because at my age, in my level of professionalism, I know everyone deserves a chance. But I had this perception of what Jess was like based on the Karen Reed reporting. And then her first show, she wasn't like that. And I'll be honest with you, she came right out and said, I'm a Trump supporter. I think everyone should stay home. And what I was doing, every time she was making these statements, I was internalizing that she was against me. And so I would sub to her, and then I would unsub and say, this is not for me. And then she'd be on again, and I'd be so interested, I'd listen. And in my mind, if I'm listening to someone for 4 friggin' hours on a Saturday, I have to sub to them. I don't have any right to be in there if I'm not subbing, right? You need to be subbing to them. So I went back and forth with this internal dialogue that no one else was part of with Jess Machado. I am the opposite of Jess Machado. Jess hates air fryers. I love air fryers. I love them, especially when my kids moved out. It's just my husband and I. We roast the veggies and the chicken. She hates spa. Oh, she doesn't do the spa. I live for spa days. I have one next week. I live for spa days. What are some other funny things that she's a Trump supporter? I do not like Trump. I don't like Trump. I when her chat went at me one day because she's made a reference to trad wives, and I was like, "Ew, my gosh, what the frig is happening? Are we in the 1950s?" But I ended up writing her an email, and it was a pretty long, funny email that I didn't expect her to read on air, and she read it on air. It was great because what you get with Jess is total transparency. And although I'm not friends with her, I mod for her. I mean, I'm not unfriendly with her. It's just these internet relationships are not real. Like they're just a way of getting to know what people put out there. Jess puts out her real self. And so you do think, I am her bestie. And I love that about her show. I love her community. Her community is in my chat right now because they support me. We support each other. So I just see a lot of people coming at her. And I want to tell my side of the story because I never came at her. I just wrote her a note and said, when you say that women should, what she said was she thinks every woman should stay home and woman should cook and blah, blah, blah. And that's just what she wants for herself, she explained. It's not her saying I'm a bad mom because I had a professional career and I worked, my kids are in their 30s. And I've asked them, like, were you ever damaged? Because and they're like, no. But I mean, that's a whole different story that we'll talk about, working moms versus stay-at-home moms. We should all just do whatever works for you, whatever makes you happy. I've been married for 35 years. I have 2 boys. And so all that to say, Jess gets a lot of hate. And I hope I never contributed to it. I don't think I did. I just went right to her and said, when you're saying that stuff, I feel bad. And she said, oh, that's not what I mean to do. I'm just talking about what I want to do. And the funny thing is, then she had me on the next week as a guest because I also told my cult story. Because remember, that's why I'm here, is to tell and get the cult story out. And the way that you can get that out is by getting people to subscribe. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm going to do something right now for a second. I will be right back. I'm just going to open my window. Married for a long time, love my husband dearly. Before you get married, you have to agree on the temperature in the house. He's a 70s guy and I'm a 65. We are passively aggressive with each other. We walk by and we don't talk about it. He never says, like, it's too cold in here. I never say, why are you putting the heat up? We're passively aggressive. It works. Hey, don't judge me. 35 years. I put it down. He puts it up. So he must be home and he has it up. So I had to open my window. I have a side window over here that I wanted to open. Okay, so why am I talking so much about Jess? So I wanted to be a mod on Jess's channel because she doesn't want mods. She doesn't trust people, and I don't blame her. After everything she's been through, she has people that, I don't know, pretend to like her to get information. What I really admire about Jess is she just lays it all out there. You want to come at me for police reports? Let's talk about it. I had my car repossessed. Let's do a show on it. I just love that about her. So I think with my cybersecurity background, I just kept giving her reasons that she probably wanted me to be a mod. It was completely a business transaction because as being a mod, I think I'm getting more subs. And I'm also able to put a Cyberchick name as a mod. She doesn't have a lot. I think she has 3 of us to make sure trolls aren't hassling her. So all that to say, I appreciate Jess Machado, and I hate that people come at her all the time, and it doesn't seem right because what she taught me is to have an open mind. I wasn't having an open mind with her, and it truly was just because of Trump. I have a thing with Trump, so that's my Jess Machado story. So I am a mod there. By the way, I don't even know what mods do. I made Side Eyes, Jess, and Amy a mod. I think the whole time that I've been a mod on a channel, I've only timed out one person because I know she doesn't mind what people are saying, just if they're really coming at her. I wanted to be a mod so that there was a day that doxed where her daughter worked. And when she's driving, she can't see that. And I just try to be online watching so that any personal information, I mean, you know, I'm just like a fanatic about it. So I immediately take it off. So Side Eyes Jess, I'm 20 years with mine and we have 2 boys and we battle the temp fans constantly. Yeah, and then in the summer, it's with the AC is too high. So, yeah, I tell my nieces, "Make sure you find out." There were a couple of key things. Do they chew gum at night when you're watching a movie? Um, do temperature. I have some really key questions that you need to ask. Amy's not married, happily independent, single, adoptive mother. Oh, good for you. And loving my retirement years. Good for you, Amy. We see that's a show. We have people that probably we could talk about what are your plans for retirement. I don't have any plans right now because I really like my job, but I probably should. I get bored. Even these 3 weeks off, I'm glad I have a YouTube channel because I get bored. I get bored. Okay, so thank you, Jess. Thank you for the subs. Oh my gosh, did I just come off as I hope I didn't come off as like trashing Jess. I feel like I did, but I didn't. My point was we're completely opposite and she embraced me, I embraced her, and we're fine. I hope it wasn't negative. So Lisa's laughing at me. Lisa, I sent Scott a link. I'm like, make someone in your house come on. So this channel, we've talked about the cults. We've talked about oh, hi, Grammy Kisses. She's lurking, doing a puzzle. I'm gonna start a puzzle today. I love having a puzzle. A puzzle taking over my dining room table. That's probably something my husband would say. Find out if your wife takes over the house with puzzles. So we help regulate the chat from trolls and drama. I'm so small. I don't have any drama or trolls, which is good. That's how I like it. So what I see this channel being in the next new year, I'd like to have my nieces start coming on because they're brilliant, smart, beautiful, intelligent professionals who have a lot to offer. I tried to get them to come on today to say hi, but they're busy, but they're listening. Hi, ladies. And so I want to have them come on. I'm going to continue with the Salty Sisters, and I'm going to continue with the cults. And in between, I'll just do things like this. I'll just pop on. If I think there's something related to technology or cyber, I'll come on and talk about it because that's what I do. And if not, then we'll find something else to talk about. So I have 4 monitors. So just so you know, my setup here, I have 4 monitors. I have 2 laptops. So if you see, because sometimes I'll watch and my eyes are darting all over the place. I'm just looking at different things that I have set up here. And that's something Danny said at Rat House Media. He said, look, it's really hard. You just have to go on. You just have to keep going on and doing boring lives. And I laugh. I'm like, we're not boring. We are really key. I love the name Grammy Kisses. Can I just say that? Oh, you live with MS. That is so hard. I'm so sorry to hear that. You were forced to retire in 2019. Salty Sisters is so cute. Yeah. I don't know if all the sisters agree about that. Boston Booty loves it, but the other ones are kind of, no, I think they like it. I think they like it. So that's it. I was just going to play a little bit from the cult interview that I did. If you could, I don't know if this is going to be a high style in here. Thanks for hopping on. I don't know if this is going to be a copyright issue. I don't think so because I was a guest on this show. But if you listen to podcasts on Spotify or Apple, if you could give them a like or download this episode, it's really, I think it's good. I'm in it, so of course I think it's a good episode. But hold on, let me call it up. I don't see it. Where the hell is it? Hold on, it's the command center again. Maybe I don't have it up. Oh, here it is. Okay. Give me one second. All that to say, thank you, Jess. I appreciate you. She's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't like everyone. Everyone's like shit talks on Jess. It just makes me feel a little crazy because she's actually pretty nice. And she's funny. Okay. There's so many things you have to do to get this on. So I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to add this to stage. Yay. And if you could let me know I will stop. Thanks, Side Eyes. I will. I think it's mine, so it's okay. But that's a great idea. I will do that. So I'm gonna play it. If you could just like let me know if you can hear it as soon as I start it, that would be awesome. It's not playing yet. Okay, now it's playing.
Today's guest has a slightly different angle. We are talking to Cheryl Tupa, part of a large, close-knit family whose life was turned.
Can you hear that?
Her then 24-year-old niece Brianna typed, "How do I find my soulmate?" into Google and landed
Good.
in Twin Flames universe.
Yes, here we are again, Pound World, the online spiritual empire run by Jeff and Shalala, still trucking along. Guess what? They claim to be the second coming of Christ and promise both soulmate union and a guided path to the afterlife in exchange for courses, blah, 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 coaching, MAP, or mind alignment process, and even a cut of members' income.
Just to be clear, Jeff is the second coming of Christ. They're not collectively the second coming of Christ. Am I right?
That would be quite the package, wouldn't it?
2 for 1. But Cheryl helped us understand how, from the inside, this didn't look like a cult at first, but a hopeful solution to her niece's deep loneliness and longing, wrapped in language about healing, destiny, and true love that slowly blurred boundaries around money, labor, and consent.
Yes, they hide their douchiness online pretty well. Cheryl shares how Twin Flames universe gained such a power over Brianna's love life and choices, how tools like the mirror exercise reshaped her sense of reality, and where the line was crossed from spiritual coaching into financial and emotional exploitation.
You may remember Cheryl from the Amazon Prime documentary, Desperately Seeking Soulmate, or heard our past conversations with former member Keely Griffin and investigative journalist Alice Hines.
Cheryl's story adds a powerful family perspective. What it's like to watch someone you love disappear into a high control group, what it really takes to leave after years inside, and the red flags for coercive control when looking online for support. They're very real.
Enjoy and buckle up.
Okay, before we start, I'll just say it's a podcast, so you're not going to see me, but you'll see me here. So kind of the same thing. And again, Sarah and Nippy were in the vow. They were in the cult Nexium. She was the leader who was the whistleblower, but she was the executive who was really bringing in the members. If you remember, it was really powerful. If you haven't watched it, HBO The Vow, it's really good. It's scary. It's everything. It's so similar to what we're seeing with Twin Flames universe. So it's here we go. I just wanted to give them a shout out because they've been great in terms of just their availability to us. Okay, it's going to start again. Hi, Nikki. I gave you a shout out earlier.
Cheryl Tupa, welcome finally to A Little Bit Culty.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
We are thrilled to have you.
Likewise.
And this has been, I actually think it's been a long time coming because we've been in touch around the time that we came out. Am I right? Or 5 years at least?
At least 5 years, maybe 6.
Yeah.
I reached out to you right away and you were so gracious, and thank you. I want to thank you because if
You're
it
so
wasn't
welcome.
for people like you that are willing to help people who are in this situation, we have nowhere to go. There's no experts out there.
Right. And I think it was actually, now that I think about it, it was Sarah Berman who wrote the first article, correct?
Yes.
For Vice?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
She'd written the article for Vice. Obviously, she wrote Don't Call It a Cult.
Don't call it a cult.
About Nexium, and she texted me and said, "Have you heard about Twin Flames? Can I connect you with one of the survivors' family members?" And I was like, "Sure." And we spoke. And I think that was how I first learned about Twin Flames as well. So tell us your story. What happened to your niece? We're going to go through this journey through the eyes of her and your eyes watching her go through it. So yeah, what was your, how did you first hear about it? How did you know she was involved?
Yeah, so if I could just lay the foundation of my family story, because this could be anyone out there listening to the podcast. And a little background, I've in cybersecurity. I've been in cybersecurity for 30 years. I come from a large family, extended family. I'm the youngest of 5. We all live in New England. 3 sisters moved to the same town. We raised our 9 kids to the same school system. Brianna was one of those children. Brianna's my niece that got involved. We vacationed together. We had pitch night. We're close. The other 2 siblings stayed in New England. We see each other all the time. And I say that because even though I'm a cybersecurity specialist and my sister's a cybersecurity specialist and 2 other sisters are nurses, we missed all of the key signs. Do you hear how fast? Is that how fast I talk? Oh my God. It's Amy, I'm sorry. It is really hard to watch. if you've been an SA as a child, I'm so sorry that you went through that. Nikki, you're getting shots. I talk so fast in this episode. I thought maybe they had me on like 1.25 or 1.5. Anyways, it's really hard to listen to. I just thought I'd share that with you, but that's okay. We're going to do it. We're going to listen. Brianna was 24 years old, very successful, had been really energetic and vivacious and a powerful singer throughout her whole life, really into music, went to school for music, became a high school teacher for a year, decided to go to Thailand for a year to teach English, came back and said, at 24, said, I'm not really sure I want to be a teacher. I love music. I got her into technology. She was thriving. Had a boyfriend, moved out with friends and her brother and her boyfriend, got a condo outside of the city and was really happy. And one night Googled, how do I know I'm with my soulmate? And it just took her down this rabbit hole. And we didn't know anything about it for a year and a half. We just thought she was doing online coaching. We thought it was harmless. They immediately inundated her with love and adoration and support, and she felt validated, and she got something that must have been missing somewhere in her life. And really anyone at 24 questions things, questions their direction, who they should be with, what they're doing, and she just fell hook, line, and sinker. And we did not know until March of 2020, so a year and a half later, when the height of the pandemic, she showed up at my sister's doorstep with her dog and said, can you watch Mookie? I'm going to California. Her mother's a nurse, and she said, I don't think that's a good idea. It's the height of the pandemic. Everyone's shutting down. What do you mean you're going to California? And she said, Jeff and Shalia had a vision, and they let Gretchen know, another member, that she is my soulmate. And Lynn said, my sister, Brianna's mother, said, are you a lesbian? Like, do you feel it in your heart? That's wonderful. And she said, I'm not a lesbian. She is not a woman. She's a masculine form trapped in a female body. And I need to go out there and we have some work to do. And all hell broke loose from that point.
What did her mom do or say after that? How did she react?
None of us reacted well. How do you, right? And Lynn beats herself up, but Lynn is so strong. Lynn called all of us. She rallied. She got a virtual team of people and said, okay, you cybersecurity people, go do your sleuthing. Find out everything you can. The nurses, go find out about cults. What's going on here? Cousins, do this. College students, do this. And we became Team Brianna without Brianna knowing it.
Wow.
Behind the scenes.
Now, you use the word cult right away. How did you know? How was that on your radar versus this is just weird?
Yeah, I did something I should have done from day one. I just got online and went to YouTube and watched videos. I could see. I contacted ex-members. I contacted you. We contacted a cult consultant. But so I don't know if the word cult came up. Maybe we were like, this seems strange. Actually, it did. As soon as it was the transitioning piece came up, we're like, that's not normal.
So to be clear, she just showed up to her mom's house with this news. There was no precursor. There was no like other signs before that. This was just the extreme.
The signs were maybe there. Things like what she was eating. She was following their diet recommendation. You pay for something called Divine Dish, and they give you recipe so that you are. It's a control thing, right? They control what you eat. But we were like, oh, maybe it's just like, one of those hello, whatever. We didn't know what it was. We were like, oh, that's interesting. So looking back, that should have been a sign. And she was talking to us, trying to get cousins into, more so the younger kids than, because we were not really tolerant of the conversations, but she was like, this is really great. I wish I joined. I wish I joined when she joined. We didn't know the money that she was spending on it. We didn't know anything about the mirror exercises, and she would try to teach everyone what mirror exercises were, and we can talk about that later. Another way of controlling, what you're doing, and we just thought it was really a spiritual course that she was really into.
How much money do you think she spent?
Oh, it's thousands and thousands of dollars. Like probably at one point we thought it must have been over $100,000 because courses can run at $8,000 to $10,000, and then right away. So she goes to California. And I'm on the back end. I'm contacting the person she was matched up with. At first was Gretchen, who transitioned to Gabe. I contact Gretchen's family. I find them. I'm reaching out to ex-cult members. That's when it became really clear right away that this is not healthy. this is really sick. But we kept thinking she'd snap out of it. I actually called her and I was like the bad cop. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, Auntie, if you're going to have negative reaction to this, I'm going to block you. And I was like, you're smart, Brianna. We were trying to yell at her and to bring her back to reality. And right away, oops, sorry for the F-bomb. So I'm going to play just a little bit more. This is an hour long. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I am interested in hearing it, and I love sharing it with you. My sister said, you are talking fast, but you are articulate. I think we talk fast in the Northeast. I think we do. What I noticed when I was listening to this, the reason why the pace has stuck with me is Sarah and Nippy. They just have a calm way of speaking. And when I was a guest on Broken Baker. He's the same way, very calm and even. And then I'm like, I just have a different energy, which is fine. That's who I am. So I'm going to play a little bit more of this, but it is a great listen. If you want to hear the whole thing, just go over to their podcast, A Little Bit Culty. Way that didn't work. So Lynn and my other sisters were just love bombing her. We finally realized we had to pretend a lot. We had to fake that we were interested. Tell us what that's about. What does that mean to you? So now she's in California, and her and Gretchen are putting out all this material. And I can show you pictures of what they look like. At this time, they both look like two very attractive 24 and 25-year-olds. They look like a lesbian couple. And she would be like, I'm not a lesbian couple. She's transitioning. Quickly became clear that they didn't like each other. And that was giving us hope. That gave us a lot of hope. They would put out YouTube exercises that they were talking about their journey, but they hated each other. And they announced they were in a harmonious union, which means Jeff basically married them to get to be soulmates together. And that was upsetting to us. So we're like, are you married? Like, we're following all of this through Facebook posts and YouTube videos. And that was really hard to see. She didn't cut off communication, but at that point, that 3 to 6 month period at the beginning, she was limiting how much she talked to us.
I just Googled Brianna and Gretchen and found some pictures.
You'll see the pictures. And then you'll see the transition. And it's shocking when Gabe transitions.
Does Gabe actually transition?
Yes.
Does a full transition?
Upper surgery was the last we knew. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
We noticed they're not getting along. And so, of course, the next step is they get to pay Jeff and Shalia for boot camp to teach them how to do their roles correctly, because they're not doing it. Now, Brianna and Gretchen were very popular in this community, so they wanted them to be successful. They paired them up. They needed them. People were drawn to them. They were charismatic. So they let them pay, and I think it was $5,000 to go live with them for 6 months and learn. Basically, they were slaves, honestly. They did their cooking, their cleaning, free labor, free cooking. Jeff was teaching Gabe how to smoke cigars, trim his toenails. I don't know, I guess family things, shop like a man, and they were documenting it, and it was awful to watch. It was cringeworthy. So when we were watching this, Brianna called her mom and was very excited because Alice Hines was going to do a story from Vanity Fair. And so I reached out to her and I said, Alice, can you get eyes on Brianna for us? I told her who I was. She was great. She called, she said, look, I'm going in with an open mind. I'm going to assess the situation. And I said, well, here are our concerns. Can you make sure she's not being abused? And can you make sure there's no drugs? Like, we just didn't know what the heck was going on.
Right.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. So she went in and then wrote this Vanity Fair article, and we were in touch with her ever since.
And what was the effect of the article on the group and your family and for Brianna, do you think?
It was really interesting. Brianna was so excited. Alice said she talked a lot. Gabe didn't say much. Brianna was just so at the spotlight, and the buzz was like, this is going to be great. And she was like, Lindy, Mom, the article's coming out. And she didn't know that I talked to Alice. And at this, we have someone famous in the chat. So we're going to take a moment to welcome Rat House Media. Danny, I gave you a shout out. You have to go back and listen to it if you're just getting here. You told me I have to keep getting on no matter how boring it feels. And I laughed at that because it's true. It's real. The struggle is real. And I talk at the beginning about my journey to doing my first live and how great you and Jess have been. And I told everyone to go and sub to you. Although most of the people here are in that will watch on replay probably already said because you're so famous and doing so fantastic. So hi, Danny. Thank you for coming on. I feel really honored to have you be here. I'm going to figure out again. I'm going to give you a wrench. I'm doing that. I'm doing it. It's real. This is like I'm professional. I'm a professional now. I know how to do this. Watch. You can watch me on real time. Boom. Danny has a wrench. Done. I just gave out my first wrenches today. I'm such a newbie, but I actually enjoy that experience. Sorry, I totally interrupted my podcast that I was on. I enjoy learning new things. Even as I, get older in my profession, I'm excited when, like I said at the start, when I have a technical issue. I love that because I get to learn what's wrong. How do I figure it out? So learning YouTube has been fun. I don't love StreamYard, but it's what platform I chose. So that's that. So, hey, thanks, Rat House Media. Okay, let me get back to this. Same time, we had actually called the police and the FBI. So,
Wow.
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So we got the article and we were like, oh, this is great because it's not positive. And Brianna and other members were really excited about the article. They thought it was good until Jeff told them, this is bad. Like it shut it down. Said no one can talk about it. No one can publicize it. No rebuttal. Don't share it. And he was mad. He was mad about the article. So I know I'm all over the place in this stream talking about Danny, Jess, and now talking about the cult. But what I want to focus on here is Alice Hines going in from Vanity Fair to the compound where Brianna and Gabe was a lifeline to my family because we didn't know what was going on inside that house. And at the same time, I think I talk about it. I called the police, we called the FBI, but we did not know exactly what was going on. And she was imagine your kids are somewhere and you're not sure if they're safe, but a reporter is going into that house and can get information for you. So I just want to say, Alice Hines, thank you if you're ever listening or if you're out there.
It's been a while since I read it, but how did they think it was good?
I think Brianna, being a little naive, just thought like, my name's in the article about Gabe and I, and Gabe, it was more quoting Gabe. Gabe was saying things like, if you talked to me 3 months ago, I would have told you I was 100% woman. This has been a great experience. 100%. Now that I know I'm truly a man, I feel it. And they just thought, that's wonderful. We're getting our story out there. We're going to be popular. And it does get you clicks, right? Negative or positive press. Jeff just felt like it was a slam against, it portrayed him as, second, he thought he was Jesus and he's crazy and he spends a lot of money, and which is all true.
Yeah, no, it portrayed how he really is. Yeah.
Right.
Let me ask you, in terms of like the trans stuff, do you think it was a conscious thing for them to kind of leverage the current zeitgeist of what's going on trans-wise and to make it a part of the community, and like, because there seems to be this kind of...
Or was it just because there's a lack of men?
Lack of men. I think it's money. I think it's money. So they will take any train, any gravy train, the next gravy train, they'll hop right on. I think that people like Brianna were getting fed up because they had stalked the people they told them to stalk and it wasn't working. Because that's what he did initially was, if you think you have your soulmate, you just go no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're married, if they don't want to see you, they just haven't realized it yet. You have to keep at them and unblock the blocker that's there. So people were getting in trouble, right? The police were getting called. So the next thing was, it's been 2 years. These people haven't found their soulmate. You know what? Let's reverse. And 18 members transitioned. He had a vision for 18.
That's insane.
18 members. 18 members transitioned because of his vision of seeing them in a different form.
And this is all women to men?
Not all, but 80 to 90%.
I didn't realize it was so many.
That's God.
Yeah.
18 people actually transitioned, did things to their body.
At least took hormones. Not all of them do something. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild. Okay, so give us a scope, like from when she gets involved to when she leaves and drops off the dog to the article. Like, what kind of time frame are we talking about here?
So she joined, and a year and a half later dropped off the dog, and now we're aware. Then went to the compound 4 or 5 months later for 6 weeks.
California.
She went to live with Gabe in California, and the compound was in Michigan.
Okay. And then eventually she went to Michigan.
for 6 months, and then went back to LA.
Okay.
Went back to LA because she was kicked out or under.
That's where her and Gretchen live.
Okay. So it was an internship.
It was an internship that they
Yeah,
paid for, and they got
Oh my
to
God.
spend money on it. And then the ways they made money was really interesting. They sell courses, and they're always creating more online courses, and they encourage you to go into debt because poverty isn't real. And if you just manifest the money, it'll be there. Don't worry about it. Just buy these courses, and it'll teach you how to make money. It's a win-win for you. Then they had the Divine Dish in 2017. I might be off. It might be 16. He decided to create the church, the Twin Flames Union, so that it's a big tax write-off now, and everyone's volunteering their time. Brianna worked like a dog. Everyone works for him. So you work full-time, and then you work and you build the website, and you create for them. You're always working for them, and it's abusive. If you don't, no matter what you do for them, it's not enough. And at this point, they all want his love and validation. They just want to be the one that he's saying, like, good. I'll just pause it there for a second. Thank you, everyone who came over from Rat House Media. I appreciate it. Lisa, comment again. I can't find your comments in the chat, and I'll give you a freaking wrench. You're a sister. You get invites. You're like, you're on here with me. But yeah, I'll definitely do that. I'm just going to play a few more minutes of this because I find it really interesting. I was just going to play 5 minutes, but I love this, even though it's hard to listen to yourself on a podcast. And what was funny is I didn't know when they were going to release it. I taped it December 3rd, and I got probably 50 subs one day. And I'm like, I wonder why I'm getting subs, because they sent everybody over to my channel. So I appreciate that. So as a thank you, let's make sure we also go and download this podcast for them, especially since we are. Who's this? Let's see what Billy. Hi, Chad. I'm new here. Is her channel about cybersecurity? So my initial, Billy, thank you. Welcome to the channel. I'm new. I did my first channel, and if you listen to the start of this, I walk people through my journey. I've only been doing it since October. I did my first live stream, and the initial intent of doing the live stream was we were part of a cult. Our niece was sucked into a cult, and we were the Boston family in the Amazon documentary, Desperately Seeking Soulmate, Escaping Twin Flames Universe. So if you watch some of my previous episodes, it'll be episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and those are the cult ones. I also have a series that we started 2 weeks ago called Salty Sisters, which is Tuesdays at 6:00 with my sisters, which is just fun gossip and tea. And I'll be doing one with my nieces who also want to get in on the YouTube channel. And this today is just me ranting. So my last one that I did do it on cybersecurity. I do them on technology, but I'm new. So I'm open to suggestions. What you're listening to is just a few more minutes of a podcast that I was part of in December talking about the cult. And Sarah and Nippy they run a podcast called A Little Bit Culty, just so you know. Hey, Sister Deb, how are you? Thank you so much. Okay, so we are going to play just a little bit more of this podcast because I feel like it. Hopefully I don't get any copyright issues.
Mm-hmm.
You did it, and they have recordings of him because people that have left have screenshot or recorded information on him. So we've seen it. It's all out there. It's an article was published. It's not an article. It's a Canadian journalist, and her name's Avery.
Oh,
Yeah.
We heard.
Did you see her?
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She did a great job. We reached out to her.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah.
She came on my channel last Friday, and we went through her entire documentary and paused it and talked about what were they like. I was really curious about her interaction with him, and she said he's just so full of himself.
My favorite part of that is the cutaways to her facial reactions after the questions. She cannot hide like how she thinks about him. It's
I
so
love
funny.
I
This
love
is my
that. And when
favorite part of that doc.
he would stop and cry, and she'd be like, "Oh, let's go," and he's crying because he loves Jesus so much that he's
dude.
crying. So, and that was a rebuttal. So he reached out to her a year after we did the Amazon, and so a little background, my family was featured in the Amazon documentary called Desperately Seeking Soulmate, Escaping Twin Flames, and We're the Boston Family. And then at the same time, Netflix did one on twin flames. So there were two documentaries that portrayed them for what they are. They waited a year, hired a PR firm, and reached out to the Canadian journalist and said, "Will you do a rebuttal?" And she said, "I won't do I'll do a documentary, but I'm going to do it based on, the facts as I see that."
And they really still thought that they could find somebody.
Okay, I'm going to play a little more because I'm going to listen to it because I'm enjoying it. But I'm going to pause and ask a question. I can't find Boston Booty on my. This is really weird. Of course, Lisa, I'm having technical issues with you. Hey, Boston, is it Gingy? Boston Gingy? Rat House Media is awesome. Thank you so much for the support. So I don't know if you're out there, DNATC, anyone who has a channel. Boston Booty is often a guest on the show with me, but I can't find her in the chat. And I'm trying to give her a wrench because she's my sister and she'll make my life a living hell. Of course, Lisa, it's probably you. You probably have it set up not through a YouTube channel. So we'll have to take this offline. I can't find you, Lisa, so you're not getting a wrench today. But I'll go through my studio and I'll be able to do it that way, I think. So at Billy, Brianna is home safe. It was a 7-year journey. And that's what this podcast that I speak out on really in an hour kind of gives you the overview. But there was so much involved. My entire family was involved in getting her out of the cult that I will do random podcasts or YouTube lives to just detail different things. I think the next one I'm going to do will be about the documentary that we did because that was wild and how we did it. So, you have to click all messages. You know what, Granny Kisses, you might be right. See, again, this is what I like it. All right, I'll play it while I play around with this. I like learning new things. I'm going to figure out how to get Boston Booty a wrench so she doesn't complain tomorrow on Salty Sisters.
Who would do I was shocked that they let somebody like Avery, established journalist, right? Into their home.
They called her and thanked her after it aired. They think it's good. They looked good.
They do?
They thanked her. They said, "Thank you so much for that."
Wow. It was one of the most cringy.
Oh my God, it's brutal.
Pieces of media I've ever seen. I mean, it's well done. I'm happy she did it. I'm just saying cringy in regards to who they are.
I think people know that.
Okay, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
All right, hold on. We don't want commercial.
Let's take a little break from the cultiverse. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Tool coats eyeing.
Left of their thing, moving smoothly. We love AG1.com. Doing during all this, like what's the state of affairs at home?
The state of affairs at home for Lynn was really horrific. I mean, but I will say, when you deal with this for 7 years, it becomes your new norm. And you don't tend to talk to people about it because they can't even imagine. If you told me 10 years ago that my family member would be in a cult, I would be like, "You're crazy." And I would think someone who was in a cult maybe had like, "Well, what's wrong with your family?" And when I read comments from that documentary, I do see like, well, obviously there was something wrong with Brianna. I've heard she looks autistic, which she doesn't. She's beautiful. She must be a loner. There's something wrong with the families. There isn't. You guys know this. We're normal.
Yeah.
No, that people
normal
have to say
people.
that. Yeah.
They have to say that to protect themselves. My job with my YouTube channel is just to spread the word for 2 reasons. Number one, hopefully help a family avoid this group in the future. And number two, help build a case to bring Twin Flames Universe down.
That's a good goal.
Unfortunately, we're in a situation, unless it's happened to you or someone you know, you're not really going to understand how it happens. And really, this is in the forward of our book. It's how we end the book.
We have a new book
if
coming
you
out.
if you think that you're not susceptible, in a lot of ways, you're advertising your blind spot.
Right.
And fortifying it by saying that, because everyone has their moment, even if it's only for like a week or whatever, where they might be susceptible to something. And then if Twin Flames comes across your feed in Google at the right time, it may be 3 months later, you don't even notice it. It just might be the right time.
The right time.
When you're susceptible, and then it's up and running.
I think in Brianna's case, it was the worst case scenario. It was a vulnerable moment, but she's super strong-willed. So once she went in, she wasn't easily brought back. It was 7 years, and it was a journey. So she went to the boot camp. Now she's going back to LA to live with him. Her, at this point, it's her. Now we're into 2021. She's still in touch with us, though. She still comes home for holidays.
Oh, that's good.
Still vacations in Maine with us. There was one point where we noticed it was really ramping up, that someone was trying to have her shut down. She was still on her mom's phone. She went off her mom's phone. You know, kids. My kids are in their 30s. They're still on my phone plan. That's just, I don't think that's abnormal. But she was getting off her phone plan. During the summer of 2022, she was just being kind of cagey and said, Mom, I'm going to stop home. I need all my documentation. I need my birth certificate. I need my passport. I'm coming home with Gabe. We're going to stop by. We can't stay. And I'll be there tomorrow. So Lynn calls us and we come up with a plan. We're like, don't give her shit. Don't give her document. We might never see her again. Don't do it. So Brianna and Gabe walk in at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, and the sisters are there. The aunties are there. Like everything's so, it's so good to see you. Oh, hi, Gabe. Nice, welcome, open arms. No, like we're just pretending at this point.
Right.
We don't even know what we're doing. We're talking to ex-members at this point who are telling us what to do, because we just want to lock her in a room and take her to a psych ward.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh, I need my she didn't want to talk. It was weird. Like, she just wanted to get away from us. And we're like, Gabe, are you going to come on vacation with us? Like, tell us, why don't you stay? We'll go to lunch. They couldn't get away from us fast enough. And Lynn said, Brianna, I can't find your documents. I think they're in the bank and they're not open. Like, totally played it well. So because we knew if she got her birth certificate and passport, we would not see her again. And so they left. And she took a dress too, and it was a white dress. And we're like, there's a wedding, something's happening. We felt it ramping up. And then that's 2022. By February, Brianna came home and kind of had a little bit of a breakdown. She said, Mom, I need to come home. She came home alone and just said, what am I doing with Gabe? Gabe's a woman. She's a woman. I hate her. I hate LA. I hate being there. I hate everything about it. And we were like, all right, I'll pause there. I'll stop it. I know that a lot of that could be a repeat if you saw my past channels, but I thought this is a good way that soup to nuts in an hour tells the story. Styling here. Thank you. I found her. I gave it to her. Boston Booty's out walking her dogs, so she's not even able to use the wrench that she harassed me into giving her. Typical sisters. That's okay. So I want to talk about when by the way, how stupid is it that it's not set to all messages? You have to go into your phone and select it. It should be all messages, but that's okay. When Brianna came home with Gretchen that summer, I talked about it, how we all went over there and were pretending at 8 a.m. And she came in with the intent that she wanted to get her documents and we were blocking. Lynn was phenomenal. That was really, it was so scary because we just didn't know what to do. We honestly wanted to force Brianna to stay. We didn't want to be nice to Gretchen. And we were so nice and loving and inviting them to lunch. And they're like physically just trying to get the stuff and get away from us. And I give Lynn again so much credit because as a mother, she was so loving and said that all your materials are in the lockbox at the bank. I'm sorry. I didn't know that you would need them. I didn't know I can't find them. And she didn't want to, if we gave Brianna her documentations, we were afraid we'd never see her again. And when I want to apologize to Paula Cole because, oh my God, Louise Cole, I did it again. In the documentary, I actually call Louise Cole her daughter's name, Paula. So sorry about that, Louise. Louise was on my podcast, my live stream, I think episode 5 or 6, where her daughter is still in Twin Flames universe. Her daughter's name is Stephanie. She's a twin to Paula. I always confuse Paula and Louise. Louise was telling us how when her daughter joined, that was it. Cut off communication. She has not heard from her in 6 years. She doesn't know if she's alive. She doesn't know what country she's in. Last she heard, she was matched up with someone, a same situation as Brianna, a man trapped in a woman's body. So the person she was matched up with was going through the same transition, and they were in Switzerland. So anyways, all that to say, if you're new to this conversation, Brianna does get out. She gets out a few times, and it takes a few times. We have to tell her she's the victim here. It's not her fault. She feels like it's her fault. And, we will continue to bring this up in a condensed version so that everyone can understand the story. And the latest, I'll get the email. Thanks, Amy. The latest on it is in July, the FBI raided, and I'll do a show on this. I just haven't got to it yet. The FBI raided the compound of Jeff and Shalia, Twin Flames Universe, got their hard drives, documentation, and they are putting together a case. And that's all I know. So you give the FBI a lot of information, but you don't get a lot of information in return. So yeah, it was exhausting. Side-Eye just said it must have been exhausting being so nice, but not feeling that way inside. Yeah, it was fake. It was fake. You don't know if what you're doing is right. So that's why having people who are ex-cult members help us was so critical. And that's why I do this, so that if someone sees this and they have someone that's in Twin Flames universe and they're going through it, then they can help. They know there's help out there. They can email me. They didn't force Brianna to, but what they did was, Billy, they had a vision, because the whole concept of Twin Flames universe is they do coaching and they pair you with your soulmate so that you can get to the ever after with Jeff, because Jeff is obviously the second coming of the Christ, and they charge you tons of money. And in the end, they weren't actually able to pair people with their soulmates, so they started having visions, and they would have visions. It was 80% women. That my niece, for example, the vision was that she was supposed to be with Gretchen, who lives in LA. Brianna was in Massachusetts. And they knew each other, but Brianna never felt anything for Gretchen. And what they said was Gretchen was actually a male form that happened to be a masculine form trapped in a female body. And then they coerce the person to go through gender changes. There were 18 such visions and gender transformations, the last I heard. And they're just making money. They're making a ton of money. No timeline yet on actually charging them. Side-Eyes just asked, and I think it takes a really long time. People have contacted me. They think this is the next digital Jonestown. If you look at my hair is like, see, my chair is eating my hair for some reason. The next digital Jonestown. So a really big cult. All that to say, because that was obviously 1,000 people died, 378 children died in the Jonestown drinking of the Kool-Aid. So yeah, and they do it all to make money. And then they became a church in 2017 so they could hide all their money. So what they could possibly charge them for, we found out it's really hard to prove mind control. We called the police. They went to the compound, knocked on the door. Hey, is Brianna, do you want to be here? Are you okay? Yeah, no, fine, want to be here. What can they do? You can't prove mind coercion. We need to step up our healthcare and our legal system to reflect more on cults, especially when we were going through COVID. The online version of cults just became an epidemic. It really did. And I'm not a cult expert, by the way. I'm just a family victim. I'm just a member of the family that went through it. And you can, Sherry, you can catch up. The podcast that I just reviewed is on A Little Bit Culty with Sarah and Nippy Edmondson. But all of my episodes are labeled. Some are cult, some are other things too. Yeah, so they're really mean. I mean, one of my favorite episodes that I did was an interview with Avery Haynes, and she interviewed Jeff and Shalia, and she came on my YouTube channel, and we listened to the interview, and it's amazing the stuff she got from them, and the recordings of them just being verbally abusive in both audio form and text messages. Amy, girl, hair clips out your friends. It's so funny. I'm just looking over and I'm seeing, like, I don't care. I'm on vacation, so I don't care. Yeah, Salty Sisters tomorrow night. So this has been really fun. I love the interaction, and I know we covered a lot of different topics. That's probably what I'll do when I'm just jumping on a live. So Amy said that she doesn't schedule lives, and maybe that's part of my problem is I overthink it. So I think, okay, I'll do one tomorrow, and then I look and see what's happening in the YouTube world, and well, I don't want to conflict with people, and maybe I should just say I feel like jumping on a live. Maybe I'll ask, Rat House what they do, because I don't want to overthink it. I mean, obviously the Salty Sisters and the episodes with my nieces, or when I'm interviewing for the cult, those will be scheduled ahead of time. Grammy Kisses says, I truly believe that your niece is a teacher for many. She has taught us a valuable lesson. That's brave. You're right. And that's also an important part of the spiritual journey. Brianna's fabulous. So I hosted Christmas. We had 20 people here for Christmas, and she was singing loudly, which we love. She was back. Brianna is back, and we are grateful for it. We are so grateful. Yeah, the leader claimed to be the second coming of Christ, and that the pathway to your ever after was through him and Shalia. I don't know exactly. I'll be honest. I can't listen to them, so I don't know all of the followings and what they believe. But what's interesting is they find a way to pivot to constantly add to their portfolio. So they could have online courses this month that are different from last month, and courses can be $5,000 to $10,000. And as a member in good standings, you want to take those courses so that you can become a coach. And when you're a coach, an ascension coach, you're charging money, and then Jeff and Shalia take half of that. So it's a pyramid scheme. It's a giant MLM. It's using the same people over and over again to get a profit. And then they created Divine Dish, and the Divine Dish, maybe I'm not crazy, maybe it's in the front. There we go. The Divine Dish it's just ChatGPT recipes, and you have to pay them for not the food, not for a cook. Like, you still buy the ingredients and you cook it. You're just paying for the recipes. It's so crazy. Okay, I don't want to hear about how warm it is in Florida. So I'm working for my sister in Baltimore. It's way colder. We have an ice storm going on right now. So I'm not even leaving my house I guess the ice storm started last night at midnight. So it's just icy. My driveway, I have a long driveway. I'm not doing it. I'm not going out. I'm staying in. That's why I have a sweatshirt on. I'm going to go light a fire and hang out with my dog. So Amy, I don't ask. I just go live when I feel like it. Yeah, and a lot of people will catch a replay. You're right. Yeah, we're so happy that she left and that she returned to us all. Well, thank you all so much. Remember, it's called A Little Bit Culty. Go give it a like or download. However, I don't know what's important in the podcast world. I think you have to download it, but give some loving to Sarah and Nippy. And I'll see you all in Jess Machado's chat or Rat House Media. Thank you.